Welcome to Wings of Fire Dreams. Today we are going to see the day 6 topics of TNPSC preparation. Today we will see the topic as the President. The contents are taken combinedly from 10th and 12th standard book. The President is the head of the Indian state. He is the first citizen of India and acts as the symbol of unity, integrity, and solidarity of the nation. Qualification and Election of the President. Article 58 says, no person shall be for eligible for election as President unless he is a citizen of India. He has completed the age of 35 years and is qualified for election as a member of the Lok Sabha. A person shall not be eligible for the election as president if he holds any office of profit under the government of India or the government of any state or under any local or other authority subject to the control of any of the said governments. Article 52 of our Constitution lays down that there shall be a President of India. Article 53 lays down that the executive power of the Union shall be vested in the President and shall be exercised by him directly or indirectly. Further, Article 52 provides that the nomination of a candidate for election to the office of the President must be prescribed by at least 50 electors as proposers and seconded by another 50 electors of the Electoral College. Every candidate has to make a security deposit of 15,000 in the Reserve Bank of India. This amount will be forfeited if the candidate does not secure 1 by 6 of the votes polled. The president is elected not directly by the people but by members of the Electoral College consisting of the elected members of both the houses of parliament, the elected members of the legislative assemblies of the state, the elected members of the legislative assemblies of the union territories of Delhi and Pondicherry. The president's election is held in accordance with the system of proportional representation by means of a single transferable vote, and the voting is by secret ballot. This system ensures that the successful candidate is returned by the absolute majority of votes. Each member of the Electoral College is given only one ballot paper. The voter, while casting his vote, is required to indicate his preferences by marking the order of 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. against the name of the candidates. This means the voter can indicate as many references as there are candidates in the fray. In the first phase, the first preference votes are counted. In case a candidate secures the required quota in this phase, he is declared elected. Otherwise, the process of transfer of votes is carried out. The ballots of the candidate securing the least number of first preference votes are cancelled and his second preference votes are transferred to the first preference votes of other candidates. This process continues till a candidate secures the required quota, oath by the president. Before entering upon his office, the president has to make and subscribe an oath or affirmation. In his oath, the president swears to faithfully execute the office, to preserve, protect, and defend the constitution and law, to devote himself to the service and well being of the people of India. The oath of office to the President is administered by the Chief Justice of India and in his absence in the presence of senior most judge of the Supreme Court. Entitlement to the President. He is entitled without payment of rent to use his official residence, Rashtrapati Bhavan, Delhi. He is entitled to such emoluments, allowances, and privileges as may be determined by the Parliament. The President is entitled to a number of privileges and immunities. He enjoys personal immunity from legal liability for his official acts. During his term of office, he is immune from any criminal proceedings. The residence of President. It is a well known fact that the President of India resides at Rashtrapati Bhavan in New Delhi. The residence and the office of the President are located in the same building. However, he has two other office cum residences where he conducts office at least once a year. They are Retreat Building at Shimla and Rashtrapati Nilayam at Hyderabad. These locations, one in north and the other in south, symbolizes the unity of the country and unity of the diverse culture of the people. Term, impeachment and succession. Term. Article 56 says that the President shall hold office for a term of 5 years from the date on which he enters upon his office. However, he can resign from his office at any time by addressing the resignation letter to the Vice President. Further, he can also be removed from the office before completion of his term by the process of impeachment. The President can hold office beyond his term of 5 years until his successor assumes charge. He is also eligible for re election to that office. Impeachment. Article 61 of the Constitution lays down a detailed procedure for the impeachment of the President. For the impeachment of the President, first, a charge for impeachment has to be made in either House of the Parliament by a resolution signed by at least one fourth of the total number of House and moved by giving at least 14 days advance notice. Such a resolution must be passed by a majority of not less than two-thirds of the total number of the members of the House when a charge is so presented by one House. It should be investigated by the other House. After the investigation, if a resolution is passed by the other House by a majority of two-thirds of its total number of members, the President stands removed by impeachment from his office from the date of passing of the resolution. Succession. A vacancy in the President's office can occur in any of the following ways. On the expiry of his tenure of 5 years, by his resignation, on his removal by impeachment, by his death, when he becomes disqualified to hold office, or when his election is declared void, if the vacancy occurs due to resignation, removal, or death, then election to fill the vacancy should be held within 6 months, and the Vice President will act as the President until a new President is elected. Further, when the sitting President is unable to discharge his functions due to absence, illness, or any other cause, the Vice President discharges his function until the President resumes his office. In case the office of the Vice President is vacant, the Chief Justice of India or his office is also vacant, the senior most judge of the Supreme Court acts as the President or discharges the functions of the President when any Vice President, Chief Justice of India, or Senior Most Justice is acting as President, he enjoys all the powers and immunities of the President as is entitled to such emoluments, allowances, and privileges as determined by the Parliament. If the posts of President and Vice President lie vacant, Chief Justice of India works as President. These situations happened in 1969 when Chief Justice M. Hidayatullah was appointed as President of India. Now let us see the powers of the President. We have various powers listed upon the Excel. So we will see one by one. The first one is the executive power of the President. Running running of all administration in his name, making of rules for the conduct of government, business, and allocation of work among the ministers, having information of all important decisions of the cabinet, referring any matter for the consideration of the cabinet, making important appointments and removals, maintaining foreign relations, holding, holding supreme command of the defense forces, approving rules and regulations for the working of Supreme Court and other independent agencies, sending directions and instructions to state governments, and invoking Article 356 in case of breakdown of constitutional machinery in a state, running of the administration of union territories and scheduled tribal areas. Legislative powers of the President: summoning and proroguing sessions of Parliament and dissolving Lok Sabha, making nominations of 12 members to the Rajya Sabha and 2 to the Lok Sabha, delivering inaugural addresses and sending messages to the Parliament, exercising veto power over non money bills, absolute as well as suspensive, giving prior permission for introducing certain kinds of bills in Parliament, promulgating an ordinance if the Parliament is not in session, causing presentation in the Parliament of reports and recommendations of various commissions, making appointment of presiding officer pro term of the Lok Sabha, allowing extension, modification, or abrogation of law in case of ports and aerodromes, exercising absolute veto power over state legislation in certain cases. Financial powers of the President: introduction of money bill in Lok Sabha with its prior recommendation, keeping control over contingency fund of India, causing presentation of budget in the Parliament, making appointment of Finance Commission, allowing determination of the shares of states in proceeds of income tax and of the amounts of grants in aid in lieu of jute export duty to the states of Assam, Bihar, Odisha, and West Bengal. Judicial powers of the President: granting commutation of sentence, reprieve or pardon, resides or remissions or suspensions of punishment by virtue of holding prerogative of mercy. He appoints the Chief Justice of India and other judges of Supreme Court and High Courts. He can seek advice from the Supreme Court on any question of law or fact. Emergency powers of the President: the Constitution confers extraordinary powers on the President to deal with three types of emergencies: national emergency, Article 352, President's rule, Article 356 and 365, financial emergency, Article 360. Article 352. The President declares national emergency when the security is threatened due to the war, external aggression, and internal rebellion. Provision of emergency in a state. Article 356. In the event if breakdown of constitutional machinery. Article 365. Enforcement of President's rule when a state does not obey the Union government direction or the Indian Constitution. The President under Article 360 has the power to declare financial emergency if he is satisfied that financial stability or the credit of India is threatened. Miscellaneous powers of the President: reference of any matter of public importance involving a question of law or fact to the advisory opinion of the Supreme Court, determining the strength of judges in the High Court, making rules for the composition and working of Union Public Service Commission, setting up official languages commission and taking steps for the progressive use of Hindi for official purposes on the basis of the recommendation, making special regulations for the administration of the state of Jammu Kashmir, making special rules and regulations for the administration of scheduled and tribal areas. Other facts on powers of the President: executive powers. Article 77 requires that every executive action of the Union shall be taken in the name of the President. Judicial powers. Article 72 confers on the President power to grant pardons, reprieves, resides, or remissions of punishment, or to commute the sentence of any persons convicted of an offense. Military powers. Article 53 of 2 lays down that the supreme command of the defense force of the Union shall be vested in the President, and the exercise thereof shall be regulated by law. Emergency powers. The President has been empowered by the Constitution to proclaim national emergency under Article 352, state emergency under Article 356, financial emergency under Article 360. Kerala and Punjab are the states where the President's rule was imposed for maximum number of times, 9 times in both the states. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please press the subscribe button and share it to your friends. Welcome to Wings of Fire.